give it time. I know that I'm not easy. This cool.
This is a fictional video. Everything is just a part of my imagination. Watch it at your own risk. If you don't like it, then skip the video. Warning: this video contains abstruse topics such as dark love, abuse, violence, etc. You have been warned. Introduction. All a 19-year-old Kim Wyan wanted to do was work to make a living and volunteer at the orphanage. Unfortunately for her, ruthless and cunning 26-year-old mafia leader and billionaire Jungkook had other plans for her. He has been waiting for the perfect moment to kidnap her and finally make her his queen after 2 years of watching and stalking her every move. He would kill anyone who gets in the way of getting what he wants. What will happen when he ruins everything she wanted and forces her to marry him? Will she escape and resist him, or will she submit and accept her fate? Wyan POV. I was looking at the newspaper when I heard the sound of my toaster, indicating my toast was done. I make my way to the kitchen and prepare my breakfast, setting it on the table. I inhale the delicious smell of the fresh hot brewed coffee as I grab the newspaper and continue reading. Utterly scared by the content of this article, police finds 2 new dead bodies possibly linked to the mafia. The mafia, for some unknown reason, they have taken a liking to this small, boring town. They have petrified every single person who lives here, and no one knows who they are or what they look like. They are ruthless and heartless, killing anyone who gets in their way. After finishing my breakfast, I wash the dirty dishes because I can't stand coming back to a dirty apartment. I head back to my room and start getting ready for work. It's already 11:30 a.m. I work as a waitress at a restaurant called Le Clair de Lune. The name reminds me of a French lullaby my mom used to sing to me whenever I felt scared. I really miss my mom. My mom was the light at the end of the tunnel. She was the light of my life. When she passed away, a piece of me went with her. My world is completely dark without her. I just wish people who still had parents would realize how lucky they are, how they should cherish them and treasure every single moment with them. I unfortunately never had the luxury to keep my mom, better yet, both my parents, because even though my father might still be alive, he is dead to me. I ran away from him when I was 15. When my mom died, something shifted in him. He began drinking his sorrows away, neglecting me, abusing me. He forced me to start working, and he would lock me out of the house if I came back without money. I will never forget all the cold December nights I spent sleeping on the doormat. I would cry my eyes out begging for him to let me in, but in vain. He wasn't the same man. I was only 9 at the time. Years went by as I endured his torture and abuse. But after what he did that night or what he tried to do, I knew I couldn't stay there anymore. I remember being tired because he forced me to clean the entire house. Exhausted, wear it back to my room. At 3 a.m., the sound of muffled talking and arguing disturbed my slumber. I got up and pressed my ear against the door of my room, and what I heard still haunts me to this day. Flashback. I could distinguish 2 voices aside from my father's. So, where is she? The first man asked. Will you be quiet? You will wake her up. The second man whispered. Wait, we are gonna do it while she's asleep. The same voice that asked where I was before asking again. No, you can wake her up. We will tie her to the bed. That was my father's voice. I could recognize it anywhere. I call dibs on going first. I've always wanted to take someone's virginity. Why the fuck should you be the first? Because I'm paying her father more money. Carson, I will give you an extra $300, he said to my father. Why don't you both go first? You take front and he will take back. Deal? My father replied, Deal, fine, by me. I remember feeling my knees shake, my heart rate shot up as I started panicking, didn't know what to do. My father was going to let them rape me. I knew they would crush me both physically and emotionally. Suddenly, the talking stopped and my adrenaline rose. I put on my slippers and kissed my mother's necklace, the one I never took off, the one I still wear to this day. Opened my window and jumped. Heard yelling, my father's yelling. I knew he would be angry. I ruined his disgusting, heartless plan. Flashback over. And I never saw him since. I was kept in a foster home till reached age 18. That's when I had access to my mother's will. I found out she left an apartment in my name. That's where I live now. Who knows what happened to him? Maybe he's still the same old abusive person he is. Maybe he died of alcohol poisoning. I would honestly rather not bother thinking about it. All I know is that my father put me off men. He haunts my dreams and results in my nightmares. Wouldn't wish him on my worst enemy. Walking down the street on my way to work, the coldness of the weather makes me wrap my coat tighter around myself and fold my arms to my chest in attempt to warm myself. I ignore the stares and whistles of the putrid perverts that contaminated the streets. Hey baby, why don't you get that fine ass over here and we will have some fun? Girl, you're thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. Lol. Lowering my head, I fasten my pace to get away from all these pathetic excuses of men. What is that point of catcalling? It's not cute. It's not charming. It's not wholesome. It's completely disgusting and uncalled for. Seriously, the chance of a woman walking up to you after you have catcalled her is 0 to nothing. Unless she's heading to slap you or kick you where the sun doesn't shine. That would be funny, actually. Wine, you are finally here. My co-worker Stella greets me as I remove my coat and hang it up on the wooden hanger in the restaurant staff room. Hi Stella, how are you today? I am good. How come you are late? She asks. I have barely slept a wink. My annoying neighbor was entertaining his female companion for the night and the walls are pretty thin. I reply while tying my apron. Ooh, did you get to hear anything juicy? She says while smirking. You are gross. I let out a chuckle. And you are a prude. You should have savored the moment, Ryan. That was the closest you have ever get to a dick getting wet. She playfully says. I roll my eyes and shake my head. No offense, though, babe. You are a knockout, but you are so uptight. Too innocent for a 19-year-old. You haven't even had your first kiss. Will you ever stop insulting my sex life? Crossed my arms as lightly, smiled at her. I can't insult what doesn't exist. She lets out her signature dying hyena laugh, making me burst into laughter. She looks around into the empty staff room where we were alone. Damn, why is no one here for my good comebacks? She dramatically sighs, wiping her eyes as if she shed a tear. You are so dramatic, I giggle. And it looks like you have customers. Wait a minute, what are they doing in a restaurant when they are full course meals themselves? Come to mom, mama. she says in a flirtatious tone, while all I could do is shake my head as I grab my notepad. I love me, man in suits. She adds, I'm going now. Inform her as I make my way out of the staff room. Good luck coming back with your panties dry, she shouts as I send her a glare, closing the door to the staff room behind me. I adjust my uniform as I walk to the table where they are set. Why did Henry have to make these waitress skirts so short? They barely cover my butt. I stand before the three in suits, and I hate to say this, but I had to agree with Stella. They were extremely good looking. No doubt they were loaded, some kind of businessman or something. That dominating cold aura surrounded them. I couldn't help but shy away at their glares. Hey, they're gorgeous, the one on the left said, sending me a wink before licking his lower lip. He appeared to be younger than the other two. Me? Shut the fuck up, Isaac, the one on the right replied, raising his eyebrow and sending him a cold glare. What? She's pretty, Isaac replied in a whisper. Okay, I'm literally standing right here. Can you just let me take your order so I can get out of here? I notice his playfulness immediately fade away when the man in the middle stares at him. I was intimidated, to say the least. He didn't even have to look at me to do that. Just being in his presence was enough to make me shiver. I would be lying if said he wasn't the most handsome man I have ever encountered. His features were very rugged, very harsh, very masculine. His roughed up hair, sharp jawline, and his trouble, tanned skin and perfectly broad shoulders. God bless. I snap out of my state of daze and shake away all my thoughts. Can I take your order? The intimidating man suddenly flickers, his eyes over to me. I immediately felt my heart race. His eyes were void, expressionless. It was scary. They were shaded a cold, dark black. His eyes carry tragedy, chaos. He has a mysterious dark aura around him. He was studying my face. I lowered my eyes as I felt my cheeks heat up. We will have the steak and a bottle of your finest wine. The man on the right broke the silence. Of course, would that be all? I asked. He nodded and I smiled lightly, walking away to the kitchen to place their orders. I almost choked on all the testosterone at that table. Wyan, can you come in here for a moment? My boss Henry called. I really dislike him, if I'm being honest. I sigh before walking over to him. He pulls me to the side, away from everyone, and does what he always does. I noticed you came in late today. It always delights me. He bites his lower lip. I'm sorry, I didn't sleep well, I explain. Giving excuses won't get you anywhere. You knows what you need to do to keep your job? He replies and I frown. He harshly grabs my hips and then, reaching over to my butt, he squeezes it harshly and mutters in my ear, You look delicious. One of these days, I will fuck you so hard. I cringe at the thought. Considering he is 43 and married, I hate him doing this. He always touches me inappropriately, but I have no choice. I can't live without this job. I hope I can have the guts to stand up to him one day. I hate being helpless. I hate men. All they do is objectify women and use them as toys for pleasure. Never has a man treated me nicely, not even my own father. I wish I had someone. As Henry lets go of me, I rush outside, tears streaming down my face. I couldn't help but cry. I was tired of people taking advantage of me. My vision blurry. My face makes contact with a man's chest, hard as rock. I was about to fall because of the impact, but he gripped my waist, preventing me from doing so. Looking up, I realized it was that man from before, the intimidating one. He stood tall in front of me, looking down at me with the death glare of his. I am sorry, I apologized, looking down as I tuck a strand of my hair behind my ear before wiping my tears away. There was a moment of silence before he spoke. Are you okay? His voice husky and deep. I shivered. No, yes, I am fine. I am sorry. My eyes flutter up to him and I immediately looked away. He is staring at me. No need to apologize, Angel. The lines were pretty sweet, but he delivered them with a ruthless, masculine, harsh tone. Huh? Angel? Where did that came from? I started to feel the heat creep up to my cheeks. I can't help but blush at every nice gesture. I watch him tuck his hand into his jacket pocket and pull out the black handkerchief, handing it over to me. Stay still and look at it. I eventually match over and take it. Lightly smiling at him. Thank you. My voice was cracking. He simply nodded. He takes a step closer, the smell of biscolgone suffocating me. I'll be seeing you very soon. I gulped. My shyness got the best of me, so ran away, leaving him there. What was that? Time skips. The rest of the day dragged by duly. It was already 1 a.m., meaning my shift was over. Bed, here I come. Today is Wednesday. I get to lock up to the restaurant on Wednesday. It was a bit creepy at night, but I seemed to manage making my way back to home. I feel a presence behind me. I turned around and there was no one. Feeling anxious, I walk faster. These streets can be very dangerous, especially for someone as gullible as me. I can't even defend myself in case of danger. I fasten my pace and start running. At this point, was beginning to feel very nervous. Just as I was about to make a turn, I feel arms wrap around my waist and a white cloth placed on my mouth, covering my nose. I let out muffled screams as I thrashed my legs and wriggled in the person's hold, scratching and hitting to save my own life. But I started getting dizzy. I was surrendering to them, and just like that, everything went pitch black and I was surrounded by darkness. Author. Okay, so this was the first part of Cruel Mafia Obsession. I hope you guys liked it. It would mean everything if you commented or share your thoughts. I'm open to criticism. I also want to say that I have the plot planned for this story, but I don't know if I should keep it going because I feel like I'm not that good. This part was to let you have a feel of the characters. Thank you for reading. Love you. Sarange.